Hello students, a very good morning. So in yesterday class as students we have discussed about the RT5 topic, that was AC circuit, and as your RTs are now, RT1 is now over. So let's start the revisions on term 1 syllabus. So as your term 1 syllabus is including from chapter 1 to chapter 7, that is from electric charge and field to alternating current and potential, or AC circuits you can call it. So up to that chapter, as our RTs, we have covered number of questions you have seen, like sample paper you have seen, you have solved that. Now you have idea about the paper also that is issued by the CBSE. So let's now revise our topics again one by one, and after the revision again we will start to solve MCQs problems based on all these chapters. So the first chapter is electric charge and field. So we have started our chapter from the introduction of charge, because this is now the base of our whole electricity and magnetism branch, that is electromagnetism branch. So charge is what? Charge is a quantity that is giving us the sense of polarization. Means whenever you will see like you can just sense about the attraction or repulsion by the charged particles. Like whenever we are rubbing some of the cloths, then that time the cloths being charged due to friction, and whenever it will be charged, then it can attract some other things, like whenever a comb that is rubbed on very dry hair, then that time it start to attract the piece of papers. So that is also due to the charges induces on comb there. So like our problem is we have understood the charge, but how the charge is produced? We can produce the charges or not. You know that charges cannot be produced, we cannot destroy them, only we can transfer them from one body to another body. So this is also called the law of conservation of charge. This is a very you can say important property of charge. Means we cannot produce the charge. What we are doing, we are transferring the charge by one surface to another, by one body to another body. So for transfer of charges, what we are doing, we are adopting two of the processes. First process we are adopting, that is production of charge or transfer of charge by friction. Means whenever we are rubbing some of the things, then that time due to rubbing of this one, means like a neutral things you have taken and a charge plate you have taken, you are rubbing, then that due to that one some of the charges start to go on that neutral plate and both becomes charged due to this one rubbing process. Second process is whenever we are keeping some of the plate neutral plate near to the charge plate, then due to induction process it start to be charged. So this is called the charge production by induction. Like a plate we have that has now, suppose on this one we have negative charges. So and a neutral plate we have kept near this one. So whenever these negative charges we are keeping the neutral plate, then you know every plate, every body is constituted by atoms, molecules or ions, and in every atom, molecule or ion we have positive core nucleus in which protons are situated, and outside the nucleus we have electrons. These positive negative charges we have, and due to this one the positive charge will start to feel with attraction, they will start to accumulate near the charges, and negative charges will feel repulsion, they will start to go away. Now our neutral charge plate is what? Now its charges is uniform, both are symmetric, but still they are distributed. And if you will attach this plate by ground, then these negative charges that are due to electrons, you can say electrons will be transferred to the ground, and that time this plate will become positively charged. So this is the way in which we can produce the charges by induction. Also by earthing we can produce the charges on any of the plate. So these all are the methods for the production of charge first. Next one, if you will see now the properties of charge. So the first property of charge is charges has additive nature. Means if in a system you have n number of charges and you know the value of individual charge, if you will add them, then you can find out the overall total charges on the system. So they have additive nature. Second nature, they have conservative nature. So just now we have discussed from the law of conservation of charge, charges are always conserved. Means only they are transferring from one place to another place. We are not producing them. We are only transferring from one body to another body. Means overall they are always conserved. Third nature and very important nature is charges has quantitative nature. Means they are quantized. This word quantization or we are also calling it the property of quantization of charge. So quantization of charge is what? Whenever suppose we have n number of charges, then we can find out the total charge if we will know the charge on any one of the charge or a particle. So if any one of the particle had charge E, then total number of charge will be Ne, where n can have value, integral values. So this is now known as the quantization of charges. And how can we understand what is the cause behind the quantization, what is origin? So the origin lies whenever charges are being transferred from one body to another for the production. We have seen that charges are always transferring as a whole. They are not transferring by like fractional transferation is not possible for the charges. So always whether one charge will be transferred, two charge will be transferred, 3, 4, 5 and so on. This integral value is only taking places for the transfer of charges. So that's why we can just write down here an integer for the transfer of charge, and this is now known as quantization of charge. We are quantizing our charges. We have n number of charges, then we can simply find out if they are all identical and they have same charges. We can multiply this n and we can find out total number of charges. This is now quantization. So these are all the properties of charges first, and I think this is now clear to you. Now in next topic of our chapter, it is for second one property I think I have left. So the next property is same charges are repulsive in nature, while unlike charges attract each other. So if positive charges or negative charges are near to each other, they start to repel them. But whenever positive negative charges are kept at place, they start to attract them. So this is the next property of charge. Now what will be the amount of force or magnitude of force through which one charge is attracting to other or one charge is repelling to other. Now our next topic is that is called electric force or electrostatic force. So the charges are attracting or repelling other charges by electrostatic force, and this concept was introduced by Coulomb. So next law is Coulomb's law of electrostatic. So according to Coulomb's law of electrostatic, the force through which any of the charge, suppose we have two of the charges, Q1 and Q2. We don't know their natures, whatever they can have nature, they can have of same polarity or opposite polarity. If they will be of same polarity, they will repel. If they will be of opposite polarity, they will attract. But we can find out magnitude in both manner. So if Q1, Q2 are charges, they are separated by some distance r from each other, then that time the force of attraction or repulsion, this is directly proportional to product of charges, means Q1, Q2, and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So this is our Coulomb's law, and you can just solve it. Then a proportionality we will have, proportionality constant. So this is now Q1, Q2 upon r square, where the value of k is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 if we have free space, and it will be epsilon only if we have then some other media. So it means, and this is now known as permittivity of free space. So this all is now the force. Now if some of the forces is acting, means one charge is attracting other charge, means we can say every charge has its own field, has its own reason through which it is interacting any other charge. Means whenever the charge is coming in its reason other charge, then that time it starts to do some action on that one. So you can say every charge has some reason. Now this reason is known as electric field. So our next concept is what? Electric field. How can you define this electric field? So electric field of any of the charge, suppose we have some charge Q, and this is the reason of this charge. Means whenever any charge will enter in this region, that time that will be attracted or repelled, that is depending on polarity. So if this means it will start to just attract or repel by a force, and that force is suppose F, and some of other charge, test charge Q0 we are just bringing here. So the test charge Q0 that is experiencing a force F due to this charge Q is known as here electric field. So electric field is what? This is force per unit test charge. Now if you will write down the value of force, suppose this is now the distance between these two is R. So F can be written as K Q Q0 upon R square, just now we have discussed, and this is Q0. Q0 will be cancelled out and its value is KQ by R square. So due to any point charge, now single charge, the electric field or its region will be, this value will be the of the electric field. Now next one, how can we find out the direction of electric field? So direction of electric fields are found out by the concept of electric field lines or electric line of forces. So electric line of forces are what? These are, you can say, straight lines that we are using to just represent the direction of electric field. So if you will draw tangent at any point on these electric line of forces, then that will represent the direction of electric field. Now what are the properties of electric line of forces? The first property of electric line of forces, they cannot intersect ever, because if they will intersect, then they will represent at a single point two values of electric field, and that is not possible because at a single point electric field will have only one value. Next one, if you will see the property of electric field lines, then that is electric field lines are very denser whenever electric field is higher, and if it will become very you can say rarer if or the distance between field lines will start to increase if field is weak. It means that electric field lines, their closeness or their if they are very away to each other, very far away to each other, that is also depending on the electric field strength. So if electric field strength is greater, then that time they will be closer to each other. If it is smaller, they will be away from each other. So in this way, the electric field lines, next one, if we will draw tangent at any point there, that will represent the direction of electric field. So this is all the properties of electric line of forces. Next one, here, how can we represent or how can we understand the direction of electric field? So according to Benjamin Franklin, he started to just show the electric line of forces from positive to negative. So we are always just starting to make the electric line of forces from positive charges to negative charges. Or they have also one property, they are not ever making the closed loop, because whenever they will start to make the closed loop, then that time they will represent that we can produce single charge by single charge. Means the charge conservation law will not hold for this case. So that's why it is not possible to just form the closed lines for electric field lines. They are also always, they are just starting from, means they are originating from positive charges, they are terminating at negative charges. So this is all the electric field lines. This is only the possibility here, no any other possibilities for the electric field lines. Now the next one here, after the discussion on electric field lines, the next topic, if we have suppose now not only one charge, we have more than two charges, then or we have two charge, means we have system of charge, then how can we calculate electric field? So for the system of charge, we can apply now law of superposition, means or superposition principle you can apply. So superposition principle is applicable on every factor. So whenever we have number of electric fields due to different charges, if we will add them algebraically, then that will represent the net or resultant electric field due to all the system or all the individual charges here. So it means that in our system, if individual charges are, suppose n number of individual charges, and due to that we have electric field E1, E2, E3 and so on, En. So there if we have made the system by using these n charges, then the electric field of the system will become, according to, you can say, superposition principle, this will be vector sum of all these electric fields, or algebraic sum will be same, because we have to take also the directions or the charge's polarity, because positive, negative, all polarity we can have. According to this one we can now take here vector sum or here algebraic sum. Now next one, as just now we have discussed the superposition principle. So let's see now system of two charges. Means if we have now two charges, then what can be the value of electric field? And here for two charge system we are going to just study only one particular case, and that is for electric dipole we are calling it. Means we have two charges and these two charges have same polarity, same magnitude. So they both have same magnitude and they have opposite polarity, and if they are separated by some of the distance, then the system formed here, system of two charges formed, this is known as electric dipole. So obviously if electric dipole is formed, then each of the charge will have some of the electric field, and due to their electric field they will have a common electric field, and that common electric field, due to this one, they will have a property to attract or repel any other charge. So that property is known as dipole moment, and we can define the dipole moment mathematically by the formula the strength of one charge into the distance between two charges. So this is now called the dipole moment or electric dipole moment. Now let's find out the electric field due to this dipole, electric dipole. So there are two possibilities to find out electric field. The first possibility we can find out, exactly three possibilities are here, but we are talking for the two possibilities now here. First one at axial point. So axial point is what? If suppose we have this is a point P at which we have to calculate electric field due to this dipole system. So at this is on their axis, this is known as axial point. The second point that we will talk, that is called equatorial point. Equatorial point is what? If this is our center of these two, and if a line that is passing through that center perpendicular to this one, then this line is known as equatorial line, this line is known as just axial line. So we will just calculate electric field due to this one. At general point you can also calculate by yourself. So let's now start to calculate, and this is given, the distance between them is 2a. Suppose from O, this distance is equal to r. So firstly from this minus q, this distance will be r minus a, and from this plus q, this will be equal to now r plus a. So first what we can do, we can write electric field due to individual charge particles. So due to suppose plus q, the electric field is eq. So this will be obviously for the point charge just now we have discussed, that is kq upon r square. This is our the value of electric field. So this is kq. R is what? R plus a. So r plus a whole square. Now the second one, due to minus q, E minus q will be what? This will be again 5k times k into minus q. So this will be minus kq upon the distance is r minus a. So this will be r minus a whole square. Now if we will apply the superposition principle, then we can find out what will be the electric field strength at this point due to whole of the system. So according to our superposition principle, this is given by E is equal to EQ plus E minus Q. So if you will write down values, then this will be KQ 1 upon R plus A whole square minus of 1 upon R minus A whole square. Now you can solve this whole problem, and if you will solve this whole bracket by just taking LCM, after that if you will take this above and you will open them, then its value is obtained as kq upon downward it will be r square minus a square whole square, because this is r plus a, r minus a, their multiplication will be r square minus a square, and this is here whole square. Next one here at above, if you will just open, this is r square plus a square plus minus 2ra, and here this will be minus r square minus a square minus 2ra. Means overall you will get 2 times r into a here. Minus sign can be changed if you will just replace their polarity. So minus sign is only showing what is the direction of final electric field. So only I am just writing the magnitude here by using this one. Now the final value will be minus 2kq, or minus sign I am just removing. So this is now, or 2 times just this value you will see, this is q into 2a. Just write down with each this value by at one place, then this is r now. So this value q into 2a is what? Just now we have defined it by dipole moment. So this is the value of dipole moment. So we can replace it by p. So this is now k p times r upon r square minus a square whole square. So this is the electric field at any axial point that we have got now. Next one, if suppose we have a particular condition, if r is much less than much greater than a. So if r means the distance of this point that is very greater than in comparison to the dipole length, then that time we can neglect a square, because if the quantity is small, their square will be again more smaller. So due to that one, if you will replace this, a square will be 0, means you can neglect it. So this will be r to the power 4 and 1 r will be cancelled out from here. So this will be overall, this solution will be for a particular condition, this will be upon r cube, and this condition is whenever r is much greater than a. Only this one we will obtain, and for the general case we will obtain from the first formula. So in this way we can calculate the electric field strength at any axial point due to any electric dipole. Now let's see for the equatorial point. So equatorial point, just now we have discussed whenever the any of the point on which we have to calculate electric field at this point. So if you can just write now this one, and what we have to do, first we have to see what will be the direction of now electric field. Electric field direction we can just make by using the concept of electric field lines. They are originating from positive charge, so they will, for positive charge the direction will be from positive to any other charge. For negative, they are terminating to negative, so it will just towards the negative. So this is the direction of two of the fields here. So just P point I am writing here, and again this one I am making here, this is P, and this is one of the vector, and this is second vector we have, and this is direction of E minus Q, this is direction of E plus Q, and this is now we have obtained in this way. So we can find out their resultant now, and their resultant can be found out by using the concept here or their component concept. So if you will just use the component concept, like if this angle is suppose theta, so this will be also theta and this will be so theta. So if this is theta now, so EQ will have two components. So this will be EQ cos theta and this is EQ sin theta. Similarly, E minus Q will have also two components. This side it will have E minus Q cos theta and this side it will have E minus Q sin theta. So as you know, E plus Q and E minus Q both are same in magnitude. They will cancel out each other. So the final electric field, its magnitude will be obtained only due to these two components that are working in the same direction. So the net electric field, that will be due to E Q cos theta, E plus Q cos theta, then and E minus Q cos theta. Now if you will take cos theta as common, so E plus Q, E minus Q, its value you can write. So suppose cos theta I have taken as common. So E plus Q has value now K Q upon this distance. Now as this distance is A and suppose from center its distance is R. So this will be root of R square plus A square. Similarly this will be also the root of R square plus A square. Now you can put their values. So root R square plus A square. Similar or its whole square you will solve. This will be R square plus O square. And this will be minus KQ or exactly KQ. This is R square plus A square. And now if you will solve it, then that will provide you the value of all the electric field. So students, I think at equatorial point, at axial point, how can we calculate electric field, that is now clear. You can solve it after this one, and that will just provide you the values. Now in this chapter, all these topics we have revised. So in next class, what we will do, we will revise Gauss law, and we will understand how can we calculate electric fields by using Gauss law, After that we will start again to solve some numerical problems. So just for today I think a lot of topics we have discussed. So let's end our class here. Thank you.